My name is Ernesto Lopez. I'm the CEO at Hospice of Washington County and Franklin Hospice. I want to welcome you to our community service of remembrance. Traditions and rituals that often bring comfort for those who have lost a loved one have been deeply impacted by COVID-19. This has amplified some of the feelings of grief and loss that our community has been experiencing. Whether your loved one received care through our organization or through another hospice or passed due to an unexpected illness, we are here for you and have a desire to honor and remember you and your loved ones and express our care for you. Because we're unable to gather physically together, we have organized this virtual service that will allow us to pause, reflect, remember, and celebrate all the lives and the love that we have for those that have passed away recently. We hope that this service will bring you some comfort and peace. And remember that hospice is here for you for whatever you may need. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dwayne Musgrove, and I serve as the Senior Manager for Bereavement and Spiritual Care Services for Hospice of Washington County, Maryland, and for Franklin Hospice, Pennsylvania. And I'm also the chaplain for Doey's House in Hagerstown, Maryland. Thank you for joining us for our 2021 Spring Service of Remembrance. We hope our service will be meaningful for you and for your family as we spend time in reflection together. We're in the season of spring. People are beginning to work in their gardens. Flowers and trees are displaying their beautiful colors as they bud and bloom all around us. The grass is getting greener, and there's a feeling of hope and new life in the air. We know that seasons shift, change, and cycle from one to the next. Spring, summer, fall, and winter form the cycle of life. And while we might be feeling hopeful because we're surrounded by new life outside, going through a season of grief can be extremely difficult. This season might really be one of the toughest times of the year for those who are struggling with loss and grief. We gather together today to remember, reflect, and honor your loved ones, and navigate through the journey of grief and loss. If you or your family member accepted hospice care, we're grateful that you invited us to be your companions through one of the most chaotic and vulnerable times of life. Thank you for trusting us and for allowing us to care for you and your loved one, to hear stories about your family, and to find meaning in your experience. We hope we provided a shoulder to lean on when you just needed someone to sit with you, to listen to you, and to talk about what you've been going through. For those in our community who have lost a loved one due to the coronavirus, a sudden illness, or an unexpected loss, you may be struggling with finding peace, relief, and acceptance because your loss is different. You may not have had time or even the ability to say goodbye to your friend or family member. You may not have been able to have a funeral or memorial service, and your loss may be more traumatic than those in hospice care. We feel your pain, and our hearts are heavy for you, and we hope that you might find comfort through this service today. During our service, we will spend time lighting candles as we reflect together and read the names of those who have recently died. All of the names have been submitted to us, and they will be read with permission. But there may be others, and you'll have the opportunity to say the name of your loved one and light a candle in memory of them too. If you didn't receive a gift bag from our office, please take a few minutes to find a small candle so that you can participate. For the next few minutes, we hope you'll find a comfortable place to rest. Breathe with us. Center your heart and mind and be fully present with yourself, with those around you, and with the sacred. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the grief journey. When we look up the term grief, it's often defined as deep sorrow, sadness, misery, heartache, and anguish. It can be described as intense emotional suffering. Grief is our emotional response to loss. It's the state we're in when we've lost a loved one, or actually when we've experienced a loss of any kind. While that may sound simplistic, it's actually very complex and unique to each person. Grief is very difficult. It can be all-consuming, and it can be the most devastating experience you'll ever have in life. Grief can feel unfair, unwanted, and it can make us angry. Depending on your relationship with your loved one, their death could bring feelings of instability or uncertainty. What was once stable is now shifted and changing. Please give yourself permission to feel however you need to feel, even if the emotions are conflicting or confusing. Resist the urge or need to judge or label your feelings. Each person relates to loss and grief in different ways, and everyone walks through the grieving process at their own pace. It's your journey, but you don't have to walk it alone. Your grief journey is unique to you. Your response to loss is influenced by your personality, your culture and community, how you were raised, and how your family of origin demonstrated and modeled their responses to loss for you as you were growing up. Your grieving process will also be reflective of your spiritual or religious views, your belief system, and those things that are important to you. The depth of grief you experience can also be impacted by the relationship you had with your loved one, and even how the person died. Grief can affect you in several different ways. It can impact you physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and it often affects how you think and behave. Physically, you might experience a racing heart or high blood pressure, a head cold that just won't go away, or maybe what was once a well-managed chronic illness may now seem overwhelming. You might be experiencing headaches or stomach aches, changes in sleeping and eating patterns, or overwhelming exhaustion. No matter how much sleep you get, it's not enough. Emotionally, you might experience feelings like anger, sadness, depression, despair, and hopelessness. Everything might feel out of control, or like you're walking in a fog. You might have unpredictable mood swings, or perhaps you're completely numb to the outside world, afraid to feel anything. Maybe you cry easily or often, or maybe you don't cry at all. You might even be surprised that you feel relief. Sometimes we feel shame, guilt, regret, or remorse. Grief affects the way we think, too. You might be more confused or disoriented, struggle to make decisions, forgetful and misplacing things, even though you're typically pretty organized. We want you to know this is normal. Experiencing loss can impact how we behave and act, too. You might begin isolating yourself from others, and sometimes we don't feel like socializing. Perhaps laughter feels uncomfortable during this season, even though you used to find joy in laughter. You may find yourself withdrawing from responsibilities you used to handle with ease. Or maybe you're late to work more often and distracted once you arrive, completely unable to focus or concentrate on work. You might find yourself feeling untethered, unanchored, and unsure of your identity, especially if you served as a primary caregiver, or if your loved one was with you all of your life. Your home might feel suddenly empty, and you may be lacking purpose and meaning. You may wrestle with the emotion of wanting them back, but also not wanting them back because they were suffering so much, and you would never want them to have to experience that again. These are all normal feelings. Let me assure you that on this journey, we all grieve in many ways, and we're here to support you and to walk with you. One of the things we sometimes forget during our grief journey is to allow ourselves the permission to have people support us emotionally. You may be a person who's used to caring for others, and it might be difficult to become open or vulnerable to the care that others may be offering to you. Of course, we all need to set healthy boundaries to protect ourselves, but opening up and letting people in can just be what we need to take the next step forward in reconnecting and finding a path toward healing. Sometimes when we're feeling sad, lonely, or that we're not really much fun to be around, it's good to have someone just sit and be with us. It's the power of presence. The space that your loved one filled in your life is now filled with grief. This changes you, but healing can happen when we allow it. It may take several months or even years, but over time, our hope is that your grief and pain will lessen and get a little bit easier day by day. Your loved one was and always will be a precious part of your life, and that part of your life will always remain deep within your heart. Death cannot steal the wonderful memories and the love that you have. That will remain with you forever. Your relationship with your loved one does not end because they have died. Your relationship simply changes. We continue to remember them, to express our love for them through stories, memories, and during special events. And we continue to be a reflection of them in many ways. Because we had a relationship with someone we loved, we are changed. Sometimes grief can be overwhelming, and at times it shows up with a smile and a pleasant memory. Sometimes we feel that we won't make it through, but you will. You will. Just as seeds that are planted in spring become watered and nurtured deep within the darkness of the earth, you may feel like you're struggling to see in the dark. But with time, the broken heart, when open to the natural grieving process, will see the light shine again as we surrender our pain to the call of spring and new life. It has been said, as a seed buried in the earth cannot imagine itself as an orchid or a hyacinth, neither can a heart packed with hurt imagine itself loved or at peace. Whatever you may be feeling, welcome it, embrace it, sit with your thoughts and feelings, attend to them, and then allow yourself the freedom to release the sadness and hold on to the love. It's eternal. All of us want to express our gratitude and our care for you, and we hope that you will allow us to continue walking with you as you cope and find healing in the days ahead. You are not alone. Thank you again for joining us for our service. Let us pray together. O Spirit of life, bless us and those who have gone before us. Today we bring memories of loved ones who have died. We share the joys and sorrows that come with the cycle of the seasons. For this is the time to remember, to honor, and to hold the spirits of our loved ones. Breathe into this moment. Let the presence of those we love fill our hearts. May we be strengthened by the guiding hand of our grandfathers, be nurtured by the compassion of our great-grandmothers. May we feel the spirits of the parent and child, brother and sister, friend and companion, young and old alike. And may we be inspired by the vast company of witnesses gathered around us. Let us hold close those who have shown the way, and may our memories be not a burden of sorrow, but a source of joy and renewed spirit. For we walk where they have walked, and we carry on their dreams. May this house, our homes, be a sanctuary, a resting place, and may we all find strength for today and hope for tomorrow. Amen.
My name is Maria Reed, and I am honored to serve as a bereavement counselor with the Hospice of Washington County and Franklin Hospice organizations. Thank you for joining us as we remember those who have made an impact in our lives. Today, we honor your loved one's legacy and acknowledge the pain of grief and loss. Grief is the last act of love we give to those who we have lost. Where there is deep grief, there is great love. I would like to take a few moments to offer a reflection of coping with the pain of loss and opportunities for healing during the grief journey. Coping with loss takes a combination of time, work, courage, reflection, and support. When we find ourselves struggling to manage the pain of our losses, let us remember to be compassionate and kind to ourselves. Remember that we are facing a difficult life change and it is okay to not be okay as we adjust to a life without our loved ones. The journey of coping with death and grief is complex and challenging. While we may experience many ups and downs during the grief experience, we may also be surprised by moments and opportunities for healing and growth as we gain new perspectives and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. I recently had the privilege of facilitating our ongoing grief support group, which is called Hearts of Hope. One group member profoundly reflected that we cannot have mountaintops without valleys, reminding us that life is a story of ups and downs, twists and turns. Our grief journey can feel like climbing a steep and rocky mountain. Another group member who recently started to explore hiking as a hobby also realized and shared that she has learned that sometimes we have to fall forward and we have to literally crawl on our hands and knees through the mud. Sometimes our grief journey is messy. It's unique, and it's based on your personality, support system, and the relationship that we had or you had with your deceased loved one. So how can we cope and navigate our grief journey? First, allow yourself to acknowledge and experience all the feelings that come with our grief. It could be shock, sadness, anger, relief, regret, or uncertainty, or everything in between. Allow yourself to release and express your emotions and thoughts. As we all have unique personalities, coping styles, and strengths and challenges. Whether we find our strength with being with others or need private moments to ourselves, it's okay. It's okay to cope with our emotions in ways that we feel natural and supportive to us. It can be creatively through hobbies, artwork, projects, music, writing, or movement. Or perhaps consider talking and to listening to others in your support system. These things help us work through the complex emotions of our grief and give opportunity for us to honor and memorialize our loved ones. Next, remember that it's okay to care for yourself, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in the early days of grief, simply making the effort to get out of bed, shower, eat a meal, or complete a household task are victories. Grief can be an overwhelming and exhausting experience. Many of us benefit from engaging from physical activities or exercising, taking walks, practicing meditation or yoga. Perhaps consider taking a vacation or staycation, or visit a peaceful place to take time to be surrounded by nature that will help us pause and recharge. Remember that it's okay to take a break. Lastly, remember to connect with others and do not be afraid to ask for help. While others may not always know what to say or have answers for you, you can reassure you that it's helpful just to be present and to listen. Take time to talk to that close friend, family member, counselor, or spiritual leader. Allow yourself to be open to building new connections with others who really get it. There are opportunities to join grief support groups or simply network with others who share the grief and loss experience. Don't be afraid to share your story and your loved one's story with others and gain perspective from others in their journey through grief as well. Seek out someone who can offer encouragement, comfort, guidance, and practical suggestions, and a non-judgmental listening ear. You are not alone in your pain. Your experience is valid and normal as you respond and adjust to life-altering changes. In all, my hope is that you will seek and discover things that will help you navigate your grief journey. Sometimes we find support in areas we least expect, and helpful tools can be big or small. For example, this is a worry stone. It's a small, flat stone that fits in the palm of my hand. Many cultures throughout history believe that this special stone can provide comfort and alleviate stress. We offer these special stones to you in a small gift bag available to be picked up from our main office located on Northern Avenue in Hagerstown. The stone can be carried around in a pocket or purse for you to hold in moments of sadness, loneliness, or stress. In your time of grief, we hope that you find these to be healing stones. Simply rub the healing stone and rub your thumb against the smooth indent of the surface to find moments of mindful reflection. We remember that this stone connects us to the earth in these moments. Imagine this stone absorbing your painful feelings. You can take a moment to reflect upon your favorite memories or say a prayer and offer a positive affirmation. Remind yourself that you are doing the very best that you can right now. We hope that these healing stones bring you calmness and comfort to you in difficult moments. Thank you for allowing us at Hospice to be with you and your loved ones during this challenging and difficult part of your story. We are going to light candles today to honor those whose lives have touched our lives. To begin, we will dedicate 6 candles. 1 candle symbolizes the spirit of remembrance. It is the flame that we carry within all of us as we remember, honor, and express our gratitude and love for those who have died. A 2nd candle is for our loved ones, those who we are honoring today. The 3rd candle is for all of those who we have loved and lost over the years. Our 4th candle is for our military women and men who have lost their lives fighting for our freedom. The 5th candle is for all of those who are currently in their last days, that they may find peace. The 6th candle is for all of those who have lost loved ones due to the coronavirus or a sudden or unexpected loss. As you gather in your home, we ask that you light a candle to honor your loved one and allow your heart to be comforted by the glow of their love. We remember them. Next, we are going to read aloud each of the names of those who we honor today. When all the names are read, we ask that you also take a moment to say, "I light this candle in remembrance of," and state the name of your loved one. After the program, take a few moments to share a story or two with those who have gathered with you today, or spend time reflecting on a special memory that you and your loved one shared together. May we remember the unique beauty of each person and the glow of the flame be a source of hopefulness now and forever.
M. Irving Barr, Jr.
Roger W. Becker.
Dorothy Dottie Bowen.
Joan E. Bickle.
Hazel P. Brewer.
Helen Carr.
Rita Mae Clark.
Mildred Krieger.
Denise Daudette.
Joe William Dawson.
Betty J. Ficken.
Robert A. Ficken. Bob.
Betty O. Patsy Fink.
Karen R. Floor.
Donald Maurice Forsyth.
Nevin L. Fook.
Janice Marie Poffenberger Fry.
Nora H. Garrett.
Ruth May Gross.
John Harrer.
Donald L. Hare.
Helen L. Harshman.
Joseph A. Joe Hart.
Mary Koss Hedges.
Robert Hennigan.
R. Mark Hoffman.
Ralph A. Holmes.
Sally Jones.
Shirley L. Kane.
Donna L. Keller.
Larry E. Keller.
Amy L. Kirstein.
Michelle Barnett Kite.
Joan G. Katrinas.
Janet R. Klein, J.
Carol A. Connect.
Beverly Jean Long.
Cora Lee Martin.
Elizabeth McLenigan.
Marion Tish Miller.
Vivian L. Moats.
Helen Mon.
Emma Jean Nora Moore, Nanny.
Steve Moore.
Alton Eugene Mowen.
Judy Annette Myers.
Robert Nivens, also known as Tree.
Joanne Pickett.
Doris Pittinger.
Eleonora Katie Poffenberger.
Ernie Butch Poole.
Thomas Potts Edward.
James R. Jim Pryor.
Beverly A. Reeder.
Doris Jimenez.
Helen K. Ridenauer.
Marilyn J. Rohr.
Virginia M. Rohrer.
J. Quentin Russner.
Rudolph Thomas Rudy Russ.
Dorothy M. Shinham.
Richard E. Singer.
Franklin Suter Stanley.
Anne B. Stickley.
Michael Ray Stoner.
Louise Stoudemire.
Ardell Stotler, Tuck.
Frank Sutton.
Jackson L. Thompson.
Wally Tracy.
Joseph Andrew Yukovarsky.
Mary Usery.
Betty L. Warnfeltz.
Carlene Margaret Weston.
William Bill E. Willison.
David H. Whitmer.
Eileen J. Wine. Oma.
Jane Elizabeth Yeagle.
Pastor Joy E. Zepp.
Hello, I'm Karen Giffen. I'm the Associate Vice President of Mission Advancement for Hospice of Washington County. I am going to read Your Light by Tanya Lohr. I will carry your light deep within my soul, allowing its warmth to encircle my heart. And when I am ready for others to see, I will shine your light across the world. I will speak your name, sing our songs, share the story and whisper our dreams. And when the dark of night threatens, I will lighten it with a love deeply shared. And as day breaks, I will hold your light, protected and safe, deep within my soul.
Thank you again for joining us for our spring service of remembrance. We also want to express our gratitude to Doey's House, to our hospice staff, and to Antietam Broadband for helping us create and record our service today. A final blessing. O God, between our first cry and our final breath, we string together precious moments of life as pearls on a string. We have gathered together to celebrate all of the precious memories we have about those we love, and we hold them as treasures in our hearts with deep gratitude for the time we had together. These special memories are never lost. Thank you, Spirit of Life, for the gift of your love for us and for the gift of love that is shared. Amen.